So moving on to some news that I don't know if it's considered bad or good news. It really depends on your take on the Super Mario franchise and on Illumination. So apparently, the Super Mario Brothers film is in priority development. So it might actually be released in 2022. Now, Illumination Entertainment will be behind this. If you guys don't know, if Tristan doesn't know, Illumination Entertainment, they've been behind the Minions.
Right.
But it's weird because people are like, oh god, it's the same people behind the Minions. Like as if every time a studio does something, it's the exact same thing that they've done previously. Now, yes, the Minions, quote-unquote, worked in the sense that they did rake in a lot of cash. But I don't think we're going to have Mario going around like, Abba, Abba Bee-Boo, Abba Bee-Boo-Boo. And Luigi's going to be like, Abba Bee-Boo-Boo. Like, no, they're going to, what? No. Like,
I really hope they don't go around going.
how, but like, why would they?
Right.
No, but you see what I'm saying? Like, people, I think, immediately when they heard this news, they were like, great, it's going to be just like Minions. And I was like, how? Why?
Right.
Like, I don't really see why it would be like Minions, necessarily. But again, that's just my take. But we should actually talk about some of the quotes here, because the Illumination Entertainment founder, Chris Meledandri, so he revealed in an interview with entertainment news source Variety. By the way, this entire article will be linked down in the description box down below. That apparently the plan, and by the way, this is an animated film adaptation too, so we should note that as well. I guess, of course, it's like, well, Illumination's involved, of course it's going to be animated, but still, just want to point that out there too. So it is in development, and it may actually debut in theaters by 2022. Now, he said, and this is referring to the 1993 live-action movie that we've reviewed on the channel. Tristan and I, and even Anthony Toto, are all very familiar with this movie. Meledandri said, I like that this was not done well the first time. Ha, Tristan. He also said that as well. And he added, I think that's more... What?
We can both eat it.
We can both eat it?
Yep.
Well, I would not want to eat that terrible movie, but alright.
I mean, I was trying to come up with a different phrase, and you can go fuck yourself, but...
Alright, that's fair.
I'll just bring it to that then. So we can all understand.
We're at that point of the night and the podcast. Like, alright, I would just like to one-up your eat it with go fuck yourself. Or just throw it in.
I'm at the point where I don't give a shit.
That's fair, that's fair. So, but here's the thing though. I do enjoy his, not just because he said it was a bad movie, but here's what I like. He says, I like that this was not done well the first time, and then he moved on to say, I think that's more exciting or more worthy than simply making another version of a film that was done incredibly well to begin with. Because, Tristan, you like the movie, but after 30 years, well, I mean 20, after 25 years, it's not an accurate depiction of Super Mario.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, so I'm not saying you can't like it, Tristan, but at the same time, I like his take on it, because if they made a spectacular Super Mario adaptation that everybody loved, that everyone said, wow, that's the best Super Mario movie ever made, and even though they would have made a sequel, but still, if they only made one, why would they make this? Why would this be any better? What new ground is this trending? You know, not just being animated, but you see what I mean, though, right, Tristan? Like, if you're gonna make another adaptation of anything, it should tread some type of new ground.
Right.
And so he then went on to state, the challenge is taking things that are so thin in their original form and finding depth that doesn't compromise what generations of fans love about Mario, but also feels organic to the iconography and can support a 3-act structure.
Right.
Which is true. Like, It is very hard. That's why people say that they dislike that Mario movie. They don't even talk about the acting necessarily. Some do. But for me, really, it just lies in the fact that I think it went against what could have been for Mario at the time, where we could have had a world that, instead of being a bit more cyberpunk, which I didn't hate the setting in general, but for Mario, you would think more like a Legend of Zelda kind of thing, you know, like more grass and more weird creatures in the wild, where it just became more of a city to kind of mirror New York.
Right.
Which, again, I love the design for the city. It just, even at the time, with what Mario had, which was very little in terms of games and adaptations, it wasn't Mario, in my opinion.
Okay.
But again, I love John Leguizamo. I love Bob Hoskins. I really enjoyed what they did with what they could do, like with what they had.
Right.
But was it really Mario? Like, if someone described that movie to you, would you go, "Oh, you mean Mario and Luigi, right?" You'd be like, is that like a Blade Runner thing? You see what I'm saying? Like, if I had to take all the names away, and describe it to you, you wouldn't be like, "Oh yeah, Mario and Luigi," unless you've seen the movie already.
Right, yeah.
In the same way that I'm like, yeah, this teenager, he goes to school, and then his grandpa died, and it was really sad, and then they had to go around the U.S., you'd be like, "Oh, Dragon Ball Z, clearly." You're like, no, it's fucking not. It's fucking not Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about with that. That doesn't sound familiar at all.
Was that Dragon Ball GT special? Yes. It was not. It was not. So, here's the interesting thing too, by the way. Meledandri, I'm really trying to get that name. Meledandri is co-producing the film with Super Mario Brothers creator Shigeru Miyamoto, who's, I assume, after the last movie, had an aneurysm of some type. Had an ulcer. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna be working on this with him. And Meledandri told the Variety that Miyamoto is, quote unquote, front and center in the creation of this film. Again, trying to make everybody sit back and be like, it's okay. Kind of like a Blue from Jurassic World and Blue, like, it's okay, girl, it's okay. Just doing that to the entire fan base.
Yeah.
So, also noted that the quote unquote original creative voice is often absent from Hollywood film adaptations. So, in other words, we have him with us, so if things are good, Miyamoto is here. If things aren't good, Miyamoto wasn't in that day. I don't know what you would say if this wasn't good.
Good to know, too, going forward. And I'm also glad that they're going for an animated movie as well, instead of trying to, not to say that you couldn't do live action, but, like, I'm glad they're at least starting with animation, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, no, because the thing is, I just think that while you could do live action, again, I don't see why you need to do that when you can just, like, even looking at something like Detective Pikachu, that makes sense because there's been, like, Pikachu, has been in the Pokemon anime for so many years. Granted, not this interpretation, of course, but Pikachu's been in the anime for so many years. We've had the anime for so many years. We've had anime films. Yeah, you can venture outside and go into live action. But while Mario has had a few Japanese OVAs that never came over here, and they had those cartoons in the 80s, I mean, you had the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, which I enjoyed a little bit here and there, but we haven't really had a dedicated Mario animated series in so many years. And while the games have in some ways become more extensive, in other cases, unless they were like a Super Mario RPG kind of thing, the games, even now, I would argue, like with Super Mario Brothers Wii U, or now the Switch adaptation, from the way I've seen, I actually haven't played the game, to be fair, but it seems like it's just another kind of going back to form. Let's find Peach. Or, of course, when you can play as Peach, let's find whoever's being captured in the castle, right? There isn't like an in-depth story that there is with some of the other RPG Mario games. So, yeah. So what I'm trying to get at here is there's so much room for potential in an animated film franchise versus something like Pokemon where it would just be retreading the same stuff over and over in live action. Or animated.
Right.
So that's my take on it. Like, there's so much room for this to thrive. And by the way, so Illumination Entertainment, not only did they make Minions, they also made Despicable Me, which people did enjoy the first one, from what I remember. Maybe not the later editions, but I remember people actually enjoying Despicable Me. I'm pretty sure Steve Carell was the main voice in that. He played like the mad scientist, which that introduced the Minions, which then gave them that crazy spinoff. Those. I think it's like three Minion movies at this point, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Also, we haven't gotten Minions in a while.
Yeah.
Like the last time someone complained about a Minion, hasn't it been like 4 years or more?
I think it's been a while between each, yeah.
No, but like the last Minion movie, wasn't that like 3 years ago at the least?
82?
Really?
Yeah,
In 2016?
Sure.
You could look it up. If it's not Dragon Ball Z related, he's not going to click clack on those keyboards.
My computer seems to have blue screened.
He's not even... Well, you better not. You're recording the fucking video on yourself.
Shit.
But... Still. Yeah, no, I don't understand the hate. Not Minions necessarily, I get it. But I don't understand the hate for Illumination Entertainment overall.
Right.
You know?
Oh, the Minions movie came out in 2015. Despicable Me 3 came out last year. That's when I was getting confused. Yeah.
There we go. So, New Despicable Me, yes. But the Minions, that was 2015. That's 3 years ago at this point.
Right, yeah.
So, and guess what? They made that sweet, sweet money, and now they're going to move on to something completely different. That's okay. You know?
Yeah.
No, but that's like saying, like, oh, Robert Pattinson is a bad actor because he was in Twilight. No, he needed to get that green. And now he goes over to, and he does stuff that are, like, kind of indie, where he can really, like, focus on his acting chops and kind of showing his range. But he did Twilight movies. So what?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can shit on Twilight, that's fine. But don't be like, oh yeah, Robert Pattinson can't do anything because he was in Twilight. No, like, again, like, it's, you do what you gotta do for that money. But yeah, so, other than that, it doesn't seem like there's much else I can talk about here, specifically about this story overall. Anything else you want to say? Maybe do you want to be in the hot seat for defending the Super Mario Brothers live action movie, or?
We've already done an entire podcast on me being in the hot seat of defending it. I think
we did.
That's all I need to say.
We did. So, but what else would you like to say about this? Do you have high hopes for this?
But yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna like shoot it in the foot right off the bat. I think it would be interesting. It's good to see that they're working with Miyamoto for, creative direction with Mario and the characters of that universe. It'd be interesting to see where they would even start. Like, are they gonna base it loosely off of Odyssey, or are we just gonna have a completely a standard adventure, like Rescue the Princess kind of deal?
You know, it's interesting.
They're going to go for something even new, like completely different.
Yeah, because nowadays, I don't know if they would want to do Rescue the Princess unless they go for a bit like in Paper Mario, where she doesn't actually technically need to be rescued.
Yeah. No, I feel like it would be a thing on like both ends. Like if Bowser kidnapped her or something, she would be like escaping from the castle on her own, while Mario and Luigi and Toad and Yoshi, whoever is in tow, would be coming on the other end, and you'd kind of like flip back and forth between them, kind of deal.
Now, what should happen is at the end of this movie, there should be a Marvel-esque teaser where Mario gets a goddamn letter.
Oh my god! And it's got the Hyrule insignia on it. Oh my god. Wait,
why Hyrule?
It will lead up to Super Smash Brothers, the movie. That will be their adventure.
You bet your ass that should happen. God damn, that should happen. I would lose my shit.
I would too.
Yeah, just put it out there. Anyway.
Just with how many jokes have been made, I'm like, you know what? What if somebody actually said, no, let's not make a joke. Let's do it. Let's see how this works.
Because I'll admit, if Mario proves to be not only a good movie, but also a movie that sells a lot, like not just good as in, it's like quality-wise is good, but it also makes that bank,
right.
Why not?
Right, yeah.
Why not? Because a movie like this, I'm not saying it's super easy to make, but what I am saying is once the hype train is going and they can get different creative teams either at Illumination or other studios to come on board, it could be a bit easier to make a story about Legend of Zelda or other characters then. And also the best thing too about these characters, once you look at them outside of, like just, this is a video game character, and look at their genres and things like that, you can end up seeing like, oh wow, like seeing how a Samus space movie where Ridley is coming after her a bit like Alien would be fucking
Right.
intense.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there. So, I want to hear what you guys think down below. Look, if you guys disagree with me and you think no, because of Despicable Me, this is going to be, or because of the Minions, this is going to be terrible. Okay, again, we're going to disagree on that, but that's totally fine as long as you do it respectfully down below. Or maybe you're super hyped about this. Like maybe you're like really, really, really hyped. You're like, I need more of this. Or you're like Tristan going, but the original was so good. I guess if they have to do another one, it's been more than 20 years. Maybe that's how you feel too. Either way, would love to hear what you guys have to say down below.